So what just happened, and why is everything just kind of crashing down? Actually, it's pretty interesting because not everything is really correlated. Most things have, or most commodities have their own reasons. So let's go over the analysis for all the products that I'm trading, and then we'll go through the graph and I'll speak about why basically everything seems like it crashed today, which is Friday, the day I'm making this video. So gold and silver, the trend is currently, it looks like it's a continuation of the uptrend for both gold and silver, but volatility is good for silver and low for gold. Now, there is a critical reason for the price to increase. Yes, lower interest rates because we got a rate cut and precious metals demand, and there's no critical reason for our price to decrease. The news are pretty critical, and volatility is low for gold, so not really something I want to be looking at. But for silver, there is a possible position. Maybe next week, we will see, because volatility is still elevated and we just basically had a massive pullback. But let's take a look at copper as well. Copper is basically, you could tell it's in a slow uptrend. Volatility is good, it's not great. It's been better yesterday, but at the same time, we do have a pretty big reason for the price to increase. And this is a rate cut and multiple mine disruptions. And there's more demand for copper due to potential tariffs in the middle of 2026. So US companies just gonna stockpile and buy a bunch of copper at the moment, which creates more demand. And there's no critical reason for the price to decrease. The news are critical. These are pretty substantial news. And currently I am in a position, and the volatility already went down a little bit since I opened the position, but price also dropped quite a bit. So you can imagine my position as experiencing some hardship, but we are still doing quite fine just for now. Next, we have crude oil, which is a big side trend. Volatility is really low. So for me, there's no reason for me to look at it in terms of trading, but still go over the news just to kind of see what's going on. So there's a critical reason for the price to increase. Its rate cuts are bullish for crude oil. There's geopolitical risks, basically with, Russia-Ukraine is still ongoing. Ukraine is attacking Russian oil infrastructure, but at the same time, we have the whole situation with the US and Venezuela. So we'll see what's going to happen, but there's risk there to the upside, which is very clear. And there's also a critical reason for the price to decrease. It is expected to have a pretty massive ample global supply. I think it's like 1.9 million barrels per day of oversupply. And if the Russia-Ukraine peace deal somehow goes through, obviously it will mean more supply in the market because Russia will have less tariffs upon it. News are critical, and like I said, no clear direction for me. So let's continue on to wheat. And wheat is possibly in a consolidation. It's hard to say. It's kind of like going down a little bit, and we'll look at it in a second. But volatility is low, so there's no reason for me to look at a position here. No clear or critical reason for the price to increase, and there is a critical reason for the price to decrease, and it's ample global supply. It's been the narrative for the past few months, really, and this is why the price of wheat has been just kind of systematically going down and down. And a possible Russia-Ukraine peace deal will also add more, more wheat into the market, which, I mean, Ukraine hasn't had any issues exporting, but obviously it's going to be much easier and much better, I guess, for traders to see that there is a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine for the price of wheat, and which can cause it to go down even more. And last but not least, we have soybean, and price is just falling there. There's no clear trend currently. Volatility is also low, so no reason for me to look at it. But it all depends on China. So what's going on is China still hasn't, is not even getting close to the amount they agreed upon that they will purchase the U.S. soybeans. I think they agreed up to buy 12 million barrels up until the end of the year, and they bought maybe, I think, over 2 million. So clearly they're not going to meet this criteria, so price is just going to goes down. Obviously, when news like this come out initially, traders always price in the best case scenario, which is rarely the outcome. So we'll see. But for now, price has been just kind of crashing down and down and down. And for the critical reason for the price to decrease, obviously we talked about China, but there's also expected to be low demand for U.S. soybeans. And this is because in Brazil, they're expecting a pretty big crop. And Brazil is another country that is selling soybeans, which China have been buying from in the past. So they're expecting less demand for U.S. soybean because Brazil is going to have a much better harvest. So we'll see. For now, no clear opportunity either way because volatility is low, so nothing for me to kind of be looking at. Now let's take a look at the graph and see exactly what happened from ES and up until soybeans, and let's take a look. So what happened with the entire market? Let's begin with ES, and actually before that, you can see that basically everything is red other than gold and the VIX, and the gold actually also went down quite a bit. So it's been up way more in the day, so it also went down. It's just not negative today, but technically the only thing that is really positive is the VIX, which is obviously expected on days like this. So on the ES, the market went down because, as far as I'm able to tell, Oracle was not able to promise the amount or to build the amount of data centers it was supposed to for OpenAI. Maybe I'm a bit wrong of exactly the details, but obviously it's something to do with the AI bubble. So there are just fears of AI bubble, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with the bubble. If Oracle wasn't able to deliver on their promise, it doesn't mean that there's a bubble. It means that maybe they had their own complications or issues or whatever. Not it's not an easy thing to build a massive AI data center, right? So I think the market will recover. It's just kind of some kind of correction which doesn't have much ground to stay up on. Now next we have gold. So as I said, gold was up way more today and then it went down, and obviously no clear reason for gold to go down. Usually when the market goes down, gold should go up, especially with the rate cuts. So hard to tell for me why gold went down. It looks like it was either profit taking or just money exiting the market. It's kind of the same thing for silver. Here it was clearly just profit taking. We had a massive day yesterday, almost 6% up. Then on Friday it just kind of went down, and not even all the way down. It recovered some, and this is just a brand new all-time high for silver, right? So it is expected to happen. So it's nothing pretty crazy. Now for copper, we also had a major down day, a pretty massive down day. It did recover quite a bit actually. And this is the product that I have a position on. I have the 4.9 put strike, and I opened it, the day before, obviously when price was way higher. It is what it is. This is trading, and we gotta always have a plan. But with copper, it fell down mostly because copper is heavily used in basically in everything in the economy. So because of the Oracle news, it is expected that demand will go maybe down or maybe not, because copper is heavily used in building data centers for AI operations, right? So kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't make sense, because there's no indication that the whole AI is going. It's just kind of feeding off of a lot of news and panic. So I think things will recover. Same thing with the ES. Let's see what's going to happen. Anything can happen at the end of the day, but these are not crazy critical news, if it makes sense, that should that can really crash the entire market. Now we had crude oil, which is didn't crash but did go down today. It's been pretty in its own lane, even though the dollar is down. So things should be up instead of down, but it is what it is. Natural gas just kind of keeps on completely crashing down. It has nothing to do with the AI bubble or any of the other explanations that I gave. It just kind of falls down, even though there has been a big draw on the inventory, which means there's more demand. And if there's more demand, price should go up, but price has been just crashing down so hard. And again, it is what it is. nothing we can do about it. And I'm not trading natural gas during the winter time because it's been going pretty crazy. Now we have wheat, which in its own lane, wheat and corn, they kind of went down, not that much today, comparing to everything else, of course. So they just kind of went down on prospects of ample supply, but nothing really crazy. Then we have soybean, which is really going down, and this is again because China is not really buying at a rate everyone was expecting, right? So it's just free falling completely. Everything, the entire gains are completely gone at this point, and we are almost back within this side moving range. And usually China, from my experience, they will never overpay for soybean. They will wait for it to kind of go down and be relatively low, and then they can place an order, and then the price will jump because they placed an order. So they will wait for the price to go down again. This is from my personal experience. So I think China will keep buying, but it will take a while, and they will not be doing massive purchases like they promised, just because it's China, and it's been like this always. It's not abnormal behavior. So this is it. Hopefully this weekly analysis was useful to you. I am doing daily analysis as well. Today was a very unique day in the markets, quite crazy, yes, for some people in a good way, for some people in a bad way, and we'll see what's going to happen next week. Overall, for most products, it should be okay, and things should recover pretty nicely. Thank you again for watching. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you in the next one.